you so much for staying with us. I have with me here in the studio Dr. Yes, political chieftain. Good evening and thank you so much for joining us today with Firecrackers.
Thank you.
Alright, so to the topic we have at hand, which is this issue of the nationwide protest. Is it a noble or misled cause? This is a question that I think it is necessary to ask because we have government officials, we have traditional rulers, we have many stakeholders that are coming out to say that people should show up to protest. They are especially the youth that they should show up to protest. This is not the right time to protest. We've also had people saying that perhaps this protest is sponsored by the opposition party to make fun of the administration of President Bola Tinubu, among others. But let us first of all start with the issue of this protest. Do you think it is necessary, or do you think that we still need to exercise more patience?
The protest is necessary, it is vital, it is a call to duty by any right-thinking person, anybody of goodwill, and it's in the best tradition of democracy. If the government is not doing well, the people have a right to say, we're not happy with you. Some leaders may say, oh, don't do it. Some are doing it willingly. That's their opinion. But I think, and some people have said it, that those who are saying don't have protests, don't complain, are people who have been paid to say so, or people who have been blackmailed to say so, or people who are too afraid to do the right thing. Because what you have here is simply a reaction to the condition in which people find themselves. The price of food items has gone up four times, quadrupled, 5 times. And salaries are stagnant. So people can afford food, basic food, from yam to beans to rice to everything. People, I don't know where these people come from that say you shouldn't problem. Look, people are dying of hunger. Unemployment is on the increase. Poverty is ravishing the land. Hunger. And you say people shouldn't protest?
Okay, all right.
Instability, insecurity. So therefore, people have a right to protest to hold the government accountable.
Well, let us quickly go on this break. When we come back, we will continue with causes of this protest and whether it is a noble cause or it's misled. As if you are just joining us, this is Firecrackers and we're talking about the planned protest for the 1st of August, if it is a noble or misled cause. And I'm discussing here with my guest here in the studio, Dr. Adetokunbo Pierce, a political chieftain. So before I interrupted
the chieftain of the PDP.
Yes.
Thank you.
So before I interrupted the flow of your thoughts, you were talking about how people are hungry and this is what might be leading to the protest.
Cost of transportation. Now, in many states, people don't go to work 5 days a week anymore. 2 days, 3 days. What is the implication of that for productivity? The country is going down. Bola Tinubu is about to destroy Nigeria like never before. Buhari was very bad, but this one is even worse. Look, let me tell you, cost of transportation, cost of petrol. You remember when he came into office, it was about 200 naira per liter. The same day he announced fuel subsidy removal, it went to 500 naira. Now it's 600 plus. Some places in Katsina in the month of June, it was selling for 900 naira per liter. And other states in the country have different prices, but nothing below 620 naira per liter. Now, the implication of that is your local transportation is not affordable. Okada now, the minimum is 500 naira, one stop, one drop. So it's all of this cumulative. Then the price of electricity also went up. Now the generator you used to buy for, let us say 50,000, is now 150,000, 200,000. It's not affordable. Life has become unbearable for too many people. You talk about beans. I know because that's what we all grew up on. I used to buy beans in the morning, 400 naira. That was enough for me. Now, 800 naira is not even enough. If a 3-year-old boy will not be satisfied with 500 naira worth of, look, a family of 5, a man, his wife, 3 children. Imagine, that's 2,500 naira per meal. Let's say they eat 2 meals. Nigerians don't eat 3 meals anymore. Most people can hardly afford 2 meals now. Let's say they have 2 meals. 5,000 naira for food a day. 30 days, they will eat on Sunday, right? There's no holiday for eating. So 30 days, that's 150,000 for food. What's the wage? How much do people make? Let's not talk about minimum wage. Now, talk about average wage, middle income wage. In Nigeria, I don't think 20% of people make over 200,000 a month. 200,000 a month. You go to a bank, for instance, who makes over 200,000? I asked my banker, I said, in this your bank, who makes over 200,000? Maybe the manager. Everybody else is 150, 200. Now, can you imagine if you're spending 150 naira, if you're 150,000 on food, what about housing? What about clothing? How do you pay the school fees? Everything is a sham. You see, there's no country in the world where we don't have these problems. No country. People say, oh, England too, they're having problems. Yes, the issue is not the problem. The issue is how does government address the problem? We haven't seen it. Let me tell you what Bola Tinubu has done and why he has brought this upon himself. He's afraid of this protest because it's going to lead to something that he can't imagine. He suspects that it may lead to military takeover. He's afraid, and he has reason to be afraid. He has not been accountable. That is the problem. People, Nigerians are very, very soft people. We don't revolt, we're not violent in Nigeria. We don't have a violent tradition as they have in Kenya. The reason why things went so well in Kenya was because these are the grandchildren of Mau fighters. They are always rebelling, they are always fighting. In Nigeria, we protest, we let you know. May 29, when I'm meeting Tinubu's 1 year in office, what was he supposed to do? Account for his stewardship. Tell Nigerians where we are, where the problems are, what you are doing about the problem, about insecurity whereby people go to school. They go and attack them in the school, they cut them away in their boarding house. Nothing is done. We have to look for ransom to pay for our people. Where is the security? No security. Now, so people are saying we have serious problems. May 29, he didn't address any problem. And we were waiting. We said, well, maybe June 12th, he will talk to the nation. June 12th, he gave us a sermon on democracy theory. He didn't account for his stewardship. He didn't tell us what he's going to do about poverty, what he's going to do about hunger, what he's going to do about the inflated cost of living, what he's going to do about insecurity. How is he going to reduce the cost of governance? Nothing. That is why now people are saying, you haven't told us what you're going to do. You don't seem to care. In the midst of all this poverty and hunger, all this complaint, you are buying private jets for yourself. You are buying yachts. You are using 21 billion to rehabilitate, to clean up a house that is already there. And you are only giving 15 billion to education for the whole country. Instead of giving grants, you are giving people loan. You are making things impossible for everybody.
But do you think that perhaps the judgment of Bola Tinubu might be unfair? Because you did mention it earlier that all countries around the world are experiencing hardship. It's not just Nigeria. And we do know that Nigerians experienced tough time during the administration of President Bola Tinubu, during the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. And then we all knew that there has to be a lot of cleanup to be done. So do you think that perhaps we should give him more time? Because it does not take a day, it doesn't even take a year to grow a tree that's going to yield plants and fruits to feed a lot of people.
Sure.
So do you think that perhaps we should listen to what some of these people are saying, that Nigerians need to be patient, and it's not all responsibility that one has to dump on the federal government, but each person themselves, they need to take proactive steps in making sure that they are able to take care of themselves. Farming, for instance, gardening, is something that a lot of people in the agri sector are actually advocating for. Because the reality is a lot of farmers now are used to high prices of food, and they bringing it down is going to be close to impossible because they're already used to that high price. So do you think that instead of blaming it on the president, expecting the president to perform this miraculous thing, perhaps state government and individuals need to take steps on their own to remedy this situation?
Okay. There's nowhere in the world, in any time in human history, where people are not taking care of themselves. We are doing what we can. The government is not performing. Nobody asked him to perform a miracle. He cannot perform a miracle. But the problem is you can give what you don't have. This man doesn't have it. Look, we need you to give us a roadmap. That's what we're saying. What happens in England? The Prime Minister, they felt he's not performing. The opposition party came together, got rid of him. And they've got that, in the last 5 years, I think they've had about 4 prime ministers. It's a democracy. If you don't perform, you must go. You know, we are used to, in Nigeria, that's the reason why we've had military coups in Nigeria. When they feel that, the military feel that, look, this thing is getting totally out of control, that's when they come and take over. Unfortunately, they stayed too long. But the point is not perform a miracle. Do your job. Let us see where you are trying. You cannot tell Nigerians to sacrifice when you are spending 150 billion buying jets. You know, when you are appointing people every day, hundreds of people now on the payroll, when your own members of the National Assembly are saying there is too much corruption in government.
Okay, what do you think about the 50% cut in salary that the House of Reps members decided to take, in trying to also address
this issue? That is part of the rubbish that's going on in this administration. Let me give you an example. Listen up. You think Nigerians are fools? The most hardworking people in the world are the common people. Look at Nigerians. Everywhere you go, they're selling something. They're selling pure water. They're selling groundnut. They're selling everybody. Are you telling us to come and take care of what else do we do? They're cutting 50% of 600,000. Their salary is not 600,000. Their salary is 20 million. You must, if you want to do anything, sacrifice, you must look at the overall income that you have. And then they're doing it for 6 months. And it's only the House of Reps. Look, real change is not superficial change. If you're serious, for instance, there should be a structural change in Nigeria for us to make progress. Structural change. Yeah, Buhari was a terrible failure. This one is a monumental failure. So this is the issue. We do not need 2 houses, 2 levels. The House of Reps should just go. Too many of them duplicating what they're doing in the Senate. That is where you save money. Look, that is the real change that needs to be for us to begin to bring in the economy, bring in cost of governance down. Then this president appointing so many ministers, the largest in the history of Nigeria. It's not necessary. You must reduce that. And he must reduce his own flamboyant lifestyle. If you have a private jet that you had before you became president, keep it, use it. We are glad that you're a rich man, you came in. Now you want to use our money where you say there's no money. buying another jet, which he bought before he even got approval from the National Assembly. It's just a rubber stamp assembly. He already bought it with our money. He bought jet, he bought yacht. He's using 21 billion to rehab. He has 440 billion they're using for his wife to travel all over the place.
They so said that the life of the president takes priority, and he is the leader of the country, and then we have to prioritize some of the things that he would do.
Yes, he needs to have a jet. But the Prime Minister of England, and England's economy is far better than our own, and that's the reason it's better, because the Prime Minister, the government officials are not spending all the money on themselves, travels by public jet. In a country like this, if I were the president of Nigeria, you will find me on Arik, on the private public jet. Why not? First class. Yeah? You have all your people traveling with you. They have booked everybody together. First class, you have a special seat. What is the big deal? We don't have that kind of money. Okay? So we are not saying it should not be safe. Actually, it is even safer for him to travel by public transport than to be flying, because they can shoot that thing down.
Okay.
So you see, look, it's a wasteful government. It is an insensitive government. It's a callous administration. That is what is going on. The fact that Buhari did it doesn't matter. And by the way, this man is talking about protest. He is a master protester. He protested against Abacha, protested against Abdul Salam, protested against Obasanjo, protested against Jonathan. Under Jonathan, this same Tinubu threatened to form a parallel government. It is traceable felony. He should have been tried for traceable felony at that point.
Let us try to get the view of Tolu Babalege, a legal practitioner who is joining us live from Abuja. Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us today on Firecrackers.
Good evening, Galaxy Television. Good evening, Nigerians. Good evening, my friend in the studio.
Okay, all right.
So I can hear you.
Talking about this issue of nationwide protest, if it is noble or a misled cause, could you please give us your view on this situation that we found ourselves, that there is an organized protest for the 1st of August, and we have many stakeholders advising Nigerians not to protest. Do you think that it is, for this period of time, is it a noble cause to protest, or perhaps Nigerians should exercise more patience?
Well, let me say I understand what is happening in the country, and I know Nigerians are passing through a lot, but protest is not the solution, if you ask me, at this time. Because we just saw what happened in Kenya, we saw what protest did in Kenya, and we saw what happened in Sudan. So at this time, can we pay the price by good lumps, like the way it was done during SARS? That is the question. Nigeria has a lot of issues. Yes, we agree that Nigeria has a lot of issues. But can we try other means of solving the problem rather than go to the street in protest? Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. It's better for us to go to try other means. I listened to the person in your studio, the way he was talking. Well, he has his own opinion, but I don't think his opinion is sacrosanct. His opinion cannot be correct, because he was equating what is happening in England, Great Britain, with what is happening in Nigeria. We are operating two different systems. While Britain is operating a parliamentary system, where it is very easy for government to be changed, for election to be called, to be conducted. It is not like that in Nigeria. We have a presidential system where our election is slated for every 4 years. So what is advancing is not possible in Nigeria. We can only wait. If a president has not performed, you can only wait for another 4 years for him to be voted out. And the next, so talking about the Prime Minister of England, they shake him, they did it, they did that. It's only possible for parliamentary system. We understand that Nigeria has a very big issue, but I also want us to understand that this thing did not start today. What is happening now is a result of various years of decadence and mismanagement, starting from the so-called military regime. During the military regime, they laid the foundation for what we are witnessing today. We knew what IBB did in this country. We knew what Abacha did in this country. And up to the first civilian government, it was only Obasanjo that tried for Nigeria, wipe off all the debts. But unfortunately, the government that took over from him, from President Goodluck, landed us into huge debt. To the extent that the then Minister of Finance, Professor Kojo Iweala, warned Nigerians that the era of a big problem is lying ahead. As at that time, we have been borrowing money to pay salaries. We started laying foundation for this problem we find ourselves. The era of Buhari was the worst in this country, was the worst regime in this country for 8 years. And nobody protested. So that was when we laid the foundation for all these things we are witnessing today. So it is just a direct result of mismanagement of the past years. Tinubu came in, he was trying to solve the problem, thinking that rejigging our economy through the removal of fuel subsidy will assist the system. But unfortunately, some cabal are there to fight him. You heard what happened with Dangote and those who are managing NNPC. They want the same system to continue. So is it about the president? No. We should do self-searching on our own. If somebody has invested billions of dollars to set up a refinery and he cannot get a product to fire the refinery, what do you want the president to do? So the problem is that there is a lot of rot in the system, and until we change the system that we have now, we only have institution, we only have strong men. We don't have a good institution. We should change the institutional, modus operandi. Instead of building men, we should build the institution. If we are building institution like the NNPC, the way by now, the person who was talking about Dangote refinery also supposed to have resigned now, and he's supposed to have been arrested, and he should be facing trial by now. But what do we have? Nobody is talking about it. Everything we are putting on the president. The president cannot do it alone. The citizen himself should search himself. Is it the way that Nigerian citizen, American citizen behave? Is it the way developed country citizen behave? In a situation where we are undermining the system. So it is not all about the president. And even the protest that they want to do now, how many people do they carry along? I'm a prominent member of a CSO, civil society organization. Nobody call us for any meeting. Nobody bring forward what's going to be done. So don't answer why this put a face to the who are organizing the protest. We can't put a face, we don't know them. So, and that is why, for example, how can I join a protest that I don't know the organizer? How? So it's not that we cannot protest, but we should be able to organize ourselves very well. Not those who lost election, try to come through the back door in form of protest. They want to change the government. Why do we have to do that? When we have a constitutional democracy that only permitted us to wait and endure and engage the government in more dialogue instead of going to the street. If we go to the street, who is going to suffer? It is the citizens. It is the citizens. By the time they destroy public institutions, the little money that is still in the system will still be used in rebuilding the public institution. So we saw what happened during answers. When they destroy public institutions, so rebuild it. So it's our money. Let us be patient. It is not about strike. Protest all the time. Ọmọ tó rù ọjọ́ kan kọ́ la máa fi bọ́ yó in Yorùbá palace. The problem has been there. The president is trying to solve the problem. This is not the defense of the president, but we have to tell ourselves the truth. We have to say the truth. So this problem was not caused by the president, even though he undermined the problem that Nigeria had when he came in. He did not. He was in a rush. He was in a rush to deliver, and that was why he removed fuel subsidy. Any other president.
I don't know if you can hear me, but I was asking that are you also of the opinion that this planned protest might also be an act of sabotage and not necessarily in the interest of all Nigerians as it is painted to be?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It may be act of sabotage because the people who are behind it seem the way they are talking seem they are extremists in Nigeria who are bent at doing who are not even ready to see anything good in what government is doing. There are so many issues. For example, now we discuss about minimum wage, labor 70,000. Who is blame? Do we blame on the ordinary citizen? The people involved agreed to 70,000. Whom do you not want to blame for that? Is it the president? So those are the issues. For example, the way National Assembly is spending money on renovation of existing structure to build lodge. These are wrong, very, very wrong. But we have a way of doing the correction instead of going to the streets. So if you go to the street, there will be people will hijack it. There will be killing. There will be maiming. There will be no peace anywhere. So it will disrupt the whole thing. So and the economy will be badly affected. So we are at the end of the day, Nigerians will still suffer. It is the citizens that will suffer ourselves. The protest that will not. The first 2 days may be very effective, but go and watch it. After 2 days, the protest will become nothing. It will not achieve anything. I can assure you of that because it is not even well planned by those behind it.
In such protests, the pain and the wound is still engraved in a lot of people. So do you think that the point our guest from Abuja is making is valid? That instead of going to conduct a massive protest, that there is tendency of this being hijacked, people should still have more patience and see ways that we ourselves could make things better?
He said a lot of things, but I noticed one issue of this is not America, this is not England. I object to that because we are in a world economy, we are in a world system of democracy. The system we have now, we borrowed from America. The one we had during the parliamentary system was from England. We must practice this thing properly, the way they practice in more developed countries, so that we can have better results for our citizens. That's all, better quality of life. Wherever you have a protest, by the way, you remember when President Trump became president in 2016, I think. For months, there were people protesting. He's not my president. He's not my president. He must go. He must go through. He didn't go. He served his term, but the protests continued throughout. That is democracy. What we are saying is, you have got your point of view. Don't protest. We say protest. Hold the government accountable. What is going on now, give him more time. It makes sense. But right from the beginning, the president set up policies. His actions already showed us where he was going. Was it not the first week he got in office that I said that we're going to be in trouble if you remove fuel subsidy? What's happened? You know why the country is in a mess now? The president said, Bola Tinubu said, and that's one thing that you have to give him credit for. He has told Nigerians the truth. He has told you, I have no plan for you. Listen, this lady, Majia Nigeria or something, who was a member of the Presidential Campaign Council for Tinubu, said, when she went to him, said, what's the plan for the North? He said, I don't have a blueprint for the North. And President Tinubu said he will continue with Buhari's policies. It is the continuation of those terrible, destructive policies that have led us to where we are now. When Tinubu took over, 3 things he said he would do, and he has done, and all of them have been damaging to Nigeria. 1, removes fuel subsidy. 2, increase taxes. 3, devalue the naira. All of them have been wrong policies. You see, this is a discussion between one school of thought and another. Our school of thought is do not remove subsidy. What IMF told him to do, what the World Bank said you should do, was not just remove subsidy by itself. It is not a monolithic action. You have to do 3 things together in order to improve the economy of your country. Why did they say remove subsidy? To destroy Nigeria? No. They say if you remove subsidy, it will reduce cost of governance. You have more money to develop the economy. That's what they told him, to remove subsidy. But they said, as you remove subsidy, you must do 2 other things simultaneously. 1, you must fight the corruption in the oil industry, the wastage, the theft, the graft in the oil industry. You must fight it as you are removing subsidy. Thirdly, you must increase your revenue stream by diversifying the economy. You cannot, you know how many years the whole world economy has been sent to Nigeria. Do not depend on one product. Nigeria has lithium. We have bauxite. We have the 3rd largest bitumen producer in the world. Is in Ondo axis. We have gas, natural gas. We have gold. We have so many things we can use to develop. Devolve power to the states. Tinubu is not doing it. He's not the first one that didn't do it.
Well, do you think
But
that
we
they
are
might
saying,
be
if
taking
you
the right
want
step
to
in
do
that
it,
direction?
pardon?
Do you think that they might be taking the right step in that direction with this new policy of not joining the local government and state government account together, but they will be paid differently? Do you think that that might be a right step in the devolution of powers? Probably we will also get to the one you're talking about
Unfortunately,
yes, about devolving powers to the states and not it being concentrated in the federal government.
unfortunately, it is the contrary. The contrary. You see, and it's unfortunate because you cannot separate a policy from the man. Because if you are known, for instance, to be a liar, whenever you say anything, we have to look at it very carefully. This idea of paying the local governments directly, that was the way it was before 1999. Before Tinubu, Tinubu was the man that led the protests of governors that the subvention should be paid directly to the governors. When he was governor, he preferred that. And he created all these LCDAs. Because the governors can manage the money better. Now, listen to this. It's the Governor Makinde that put it this way. He said, look, in every state, the governor, the state government gets, let us say, 450 billion a month. The local government gets 70 billion. That's the way it goes. The local government 70 billion, 7 billion a month. 5.3 billion is used to pay salaries. Therefore, this thing is a ruse. It's just an attempt by President Tinubu to control 774 local government areas in preparation for the total takeover of Nigeria come 2027. That is all it is. It's unfortunate because devolution of power to the states means devolution to the states, not to the local government. If you want to devolve power to the states, we're talking about power. This This one is a question of, I pay you directly, he who pays the piper calls the tune. So you want to call the tune for all 774 local government areas. Now, if you want to devolve power to the states, what you do is, it has to be a constitutional amendment. The 1999 Constitution will be amended so that states can use their mineral resources, whether it's agriculture, whatever, to develop their states by being able to raise foreign bonds all over the world to come. If you have lithium, come and invest in China, come and invest in lithium. Now you have to get guarantee from the federal government to do it. So states don't have any power. Until you do that, you are not doing anything. This one that the president is doing has nothing to do with the evolution of power. It is division of power.
Okay.
And it is not going to augur well